Hey, what's going on, guys? Checking in from Seoul, South Korea, and while I'm here, we've put together a really cool video with so many useful expressions that will help you be a little more confident in understanding native speakers, but will also help you level up your own spoken English. So if you're ready, let's begin. I always like to say that it's definitely better to learn vocabulary in combinations. Not just standalone words, but also stuff that they like to work with commonly. And that's what we're gonna do today. So if you're ready to learn 50 common expressions in English for beginners, stick around. The first one is to get old. Aside from aging, you know, I'm getting old.
I'm getting old.
We also can talk about some other things that are getting old. Something that you're, getting tired of, something that is not cool or exciting or new anymore. It doesn't have to be people, it could be just you can express that you're annoyed. For example, you criticizing me is getting old, which means I am tired of it. It's getting old, I'm tired of it, I don't want to hear it anymore.
This really isn't getting old.
The next one, number 2, is to take advantage. When you take advantage of something, basically you have an opportunity that you use to its fullest potential. And we can say, I want to take advantage of this opportunity.
You have to take advantage of the turnovers.
Also, in the bad way, if you can say to take advantage of someone, which means to exploit or to use someone's weaknesses or something like that to get whatever you want. For example, I am so nice that people around me keep taking advantage of me. So they're using me, they're using the side of me to get whatever they want at my expense. The next one is ask if. So basically you're just inquiring about some information. You're just asking for some information. Can you call him and ask if he's available?
Ask him if he remembers Jim.
And of course, you can also say ask whether. Ask if or ask whether, they are the same. Number 4, to break a promise. When you break a promise, that's the opposite of keeping your promise.
And you just don't break a promise.
When you keep your promise, you do what you said you would. And when you break your promise, you don't do that, even though you said that you would do it.
I have a promise to keep.
Number 5, get a chance. Can you call me back when you get a chance? When it's convenient, when you have time to do it.
When you get a chance, call me back.
Number 6, to do research. Obviously, that sounds very serious. Scientific research and stuff like that. Obviously that's great. Or if you're doing, writing a paper on something, you have to do research. Also, you can use it for less serious stuff. When you're just, conducting a simple Google search, you can say, oh, I need to do some research. And it sounds a little bit like a joke. You're exaggerating. Oh, I'm just doing some research.
Do some research.
Number 7 is to take a break. You can take a break in multiple different ways. The most common one being, I've been working and I'm tired, I need to take a break. Take some time to rest or relax or, not do work. Take a break. You can also take a break in relationships, like Ross and Rachel from Friends.
We were on a break!
Number 8, to come up with. To come up with something means to create it in a way. When you say that you came up with something, you're basically stating that you have creative ownership over it. Oh, you like this idea? Yeah, I came up with that. It's mine. I created it. I came up with that.
I came up with that.
Number 9, to get fired means to be asked to leave your job and not come back anymore. By your boss, obviously. So if you get fired, hopefully you don't get fired, but if you get fired, that means that they don't want you there anymore.
I got
fired today.
Number 10, to make a mess. To make a mess, I mean, it could be, literal or figurative, which means, if it's literal meaning to make a mess, I just, scatter everything around, trash is everywhere. I made a mess, right? It's messy in here, it's not clean.
We really made a mess of things.
The figurative meaning is, you can make a mess in relationships or situations. It doesn't have to be, physical garbage or mess here. I made a mistake. I had a fight with my friend and I said some things that I didn't mean, that were rude or disrespectful or offensive. I really made a mess.
I made a mess.
The next one is to get a call. To get a call, someone's calling you and you have to get it. I'm sorry, I have to get this call. Hello? The next one is say no more. Say no more. You could use that when you understand exactly what the other person is talking about and you don't need any further explanation.
Say no more.
Or you agree with someone to such a degree that nothing can change your mind. You are on board. There's also another one with the same meaning that's been kind of more popular, and it's say less, which is basically the same. I totally agree, I understand you, I get you, you don't need to explain any further. The next one is to have a drink. I mean, you can just, grab a beverage and drink it. That's having a drink. But more commonly, this phrasing itself, to have a drink, typically we talk about, alcoholic beverages when we say to have a drink.
Let's have a drink.
Or you could also say to get a drink. If I tell you let's go get a drink tonight, that is definitely alcohol. I'm just saying. Do the cooking. What is the difference between do the cooking and just cook? Well, there's no difference really, aside from, when you say do the cooking, there's, this tone of a regularly occurring event. Like I do this all the time. I do the cooking, my wife does the cleaning, right? It's our routine. These are the rules. This is what we do. If I just say I cook, my wife cleans, I mean, sure, it also sounds kind of repetitive and, sounds like a routine. But when you say I do the cooking and my wife does the cleaning, it sounds more so like a routine.
I should probably do the cooking.
Number 15, to come close. You can use that when you compare something. This weather doesn't even come close to what we have back home. But if it doesn't come close to something, that means it's worse. It's significantly worse, generally.
Doesn't come close to what you are.
If you're just starting your English learning journey and you don't really know what to do next, don't worry, I got you. Join us for this upcoming launch of our popular course, From Elementary to Intermediate, where we give it all up. We give you everything you need to make that jump up to the intermediate level. I'm talking about grammar, I'm talking about vocabulary, I'm talking about life hacks, tips and tricks, pronunciation stuff, everything you need to move up. So if you're ready to take this first step and uncover a brand new world, I'm gonna leave the link in the description box down below. Number 16, to make an appearance. Let me explain. So there is a party tonight and I don't really want to go, but I was invited and it's, important, and I will go show my face, right? I will make an appearance. People will see that I'm there and then I'll leave, right? To make an appearance.
I promise I'll make an appearance.
Number 17, to make arrangements. When you make arrangements, you typically do whatever you need to do to make something happen. For example, we're traveling next month for business. Let's make arrangements. Let's, book the flights, find the hotels, book the hotels. Take all the necessary steps to make sure we can do that.
I'll make the arrangements.
Number 18, buy some time. When you buy some time, buy, like with money, you basically, do whatever you need to do to have a little more time. Let me give you an example. We're planning a birthday party for you, a surprise birthday party. You walk in, you think no one is there, and then we jump out and we say, surprise, happy birthday, right? And all that stuff. But you are coming home earlier than expected. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call you or text you to distract you so that you don't walk into the house right away, to buy some time. So I'm not necessarily paying for it with money, but you know, I am exchanging my time for, you know, some more time for everybody, I guess. So it is a bit transactional. Oh no, he's coming home earlier than expected. I need to buy us some time. Let me call him.
Right now, I need to buy some time.
Number 19, get ready for. Prepare yourself to do something, and you know, have all the necessary preparations in place. We need to get ready for an event tonight. Hairstyles, haircuts, makeup, shoes, purses, accessories, whatever. We need to get ready for.
I'm all ready for the party.
Number 20, to make up your mind. To make up your mind means to make a choice, make a decision. You could say, you gotta make up your mind. Is it this or that?
It's like you can't make up your mind.
Number 21, make a mistake. Yes, we say make a mistake, not do a mistake. It's make a mistake. I guess this is for more advanced learners, but you know, native speakers say whatever, literally whatever. People might say, you know, do a mistake, or oh, so many mistakes I do. People might say that. I'm just warning you right now, before you go outside and hear some stuff that makes you question everything you've ever learned in your life. But yeah, it is grammatically correct to say make a mistake.
I think I made a mistake.
Number 22, get a ticket. So get a ticket specifically, that specific phrasing is applicable to the situations where the police is giving you, you know, they're giving you a ticket for something that you did wrong and you have to pay it. A violation, right? So let's say I got a ticket for speeding. I was going a little too fast in my car and I got pulled over. I got a ticket.
Why not? I'll get a ticket.
Number 23, to make a difference. To make a difference, let me try to give you an example. This project that we're working on is dead. It's over. So whatever we do now doesn't make a difference. And on the other hand, you can say, you know, I want to do something that makes a difference in the world. Like I want to do something that potentially contributes to changing the world.
We can make a difference.
Number 24, take a look. To take a look means to, you know, look at something really quickly. That's pretty much it, you know. Oh, let me take a look. Some people might add, let me take a quick look, something like that. But yeah, to take a look means to just quickly look at it.
Can I please have a look at the lyrics?
Number 25, to catch a cold. That's what we say when you get sick. Oh, I don't want to catch a cold. I need to wear something warm. Stuff like that.
If I ever catch a cold.
Number 26, to make an exception. There are rules, and rules are for everyone. But for you, I'll make an exception.
Well, can't you make an exception?
Number 27, to get permission. When you need someone's, not necessarily approval, but when you need someone's permission, you have to go get it. Get permission. You need to get permission to film here, for example. I hear that all the time.
Must first get permission.
Number 28, do your best. To do your best means to do everything in your power to achieve something or to get some kind of result. I know this week is gonna be hard, but do your best.
Do your best.
Make food. When you make food, you basically cook it. But the reason why we say make food sometimes is because not everything can be used with cook. You can cook chicken for sure. You can't cook a salad. You make a salad. And you can't cook a sandwich because you make a sandwich. So that's basically what I'm trying to tell you here. Not everything is cooked.
I'll make you dinner.
Number 30, ask about. Did she ask about me, right? Did she ask about me? So, yeah, you know, ask about is to ask a question about something or someone.
Can I ask something about your game?
Number 31, to have patience. To have patience is the same thing as to be patient. Don't rush, it'll come. Just be patient or have patience.
Just have a little patience. Patience? Ha!
Number 32, to get a degree. We get a degree. Yes, get a degree. I mean, you can also earn a degree, I guess, but you get a degree. Whether it's an associate's degree, or bachelor's, or master's, PhD, you go to school, you get a degree.
She's got a degree in early childhood education.
The next one is to go on a date. To go on a date means to go out with someone, with romantic goals in mind, right? You go on a date, you potentially want to date this person, be boyfriend and girlfriend, or whatever the case may be, right? You want to be in a romantic relationship. That is your goal. So when you go out to eat with someone and it's a date, you go on a date. That's what that means.
Go on a date with me.
Number 34, to take a photo. We take a photo. You looking beautiful, by the way. When you press a button, the shutter button, I guess you would call that, you take a photo. Remember that.
There, you can take your photo now.
Number 35, to break the bank. When something breaks the bank, it's very expensive. Or maybe it's, a little too expensive for you, or maybe it's more expensive than you would like it to be in terms of your budget or the money that you have. I need to buy a new camera that doesn't break the bank, right? So I need a new camera that's, a reasonable, decent price, not crazy. Number 36, to do a good job. And you can put any adjective there. To do a great job, to do a horrible job, to do an amazing job, right? It's kind of like your feedback that you give after someone does something.
You did a great job, Dad.
And then you can add a gerund or a verb plus ing after to specify what the job was. He did a horrible job explaining the assignment. Number 37, to get the impression. To get the impression. I get the impression that you like to read books. I don't know, something about your vibe, something about you is giving me this impression.
Please, don't get the wrong impression.
Have no fear. I got you. I will teach you everything you need. Have no fear. This is basically, an expression that we use to say don't be afraid. It just sounds like a superhero, like have no fear, that we use it in that tone sometimes to really emphasize the fact that don't worry, I'll handle it. Have no fear, I got this sort of thing.
Have no fear.
Number 39, to have a chat. To have a chat, to talk to someone. It sounds less serious than to have a conversation or to talk. It could be, something very, very casual and not serious at all. Or it could be something serious, but you just downplay it. You make it sound less serious than what it is when you say, let's have a chat.
Let's have a little chat.
To make a cup of tea. Yes, we make tea. I mean, you could say brew, I guess, but I would never say that in my life. Yeah, make a cup of tea.
Can I make you a cup of tea?
Make fun of someone. When you're laughing at someone, when you're teasing someone, when, you're making jokes at this person's expense. Stop making fun of me. Stop making fun of me.
Stop making fun of me, Virginia.
Number 42. To take notes. When you're at a lecture or, you're listening to a lecture or a lesson or, you're in class or something, you take notes. Take notes.
Take notes, Jonah.
Number 43, to grab a bite. Typically we say to grab a bite to eat, or you could say grab a bite.
I'm gonna go grab a bite.
Or you could say grab food. So you're basically inviting someone or asking if this person wants to get food with you. Hey, you wanna grab lunch?
Hey, you wanna grab lunch?
Oh, hell yeah.
Number 44, have fun. To have fun means to have a really good time, to enjoy, this action that you're performing. When you learn English, make sure you have fun.
We have fun. We just have fun.
Number 45, to pay attention. To pay attention means to focus and concentrate and have nothing else on your mind aside from what you're doing now. Pay attention, or what you're listening to now, for example. When I speak, pay attention, right? Something like that.
Pay attention to me. I'm inconsolable.
Number 46, to take a test. When you're in school, you take tests. Take a test, right? That's the word that we use with test. To take a test. To take a test means to just, sit down and write or whatever, sit down and do it. take a test. Of course, you can pass a test, which means you did a good job, or you can fail a test, which means you didn't do a good job. So, but you know, the neutral action of it is to take a test.
We're going to take a test.
Number 47, to keep at something. When you keep at something, you just continue doing it. I know you want to be a famous actor. I think you can do it. Just keep at it. Keep at it.
Keep at it.
Number 48, to catch someone's eye. When you catch someone's eye, you make them, you know, notice you and look at you, and you know, they keep looking at you. You caught their eye. They noticed you. This new car really caught my eye. Like, I am interested in it.
Applied sciences caught my eye.
Number 49, I'm down. When you say I'm down, that means yes, let's do whatever you just offered. Yes, I agree. Yes, I'm willing to do it. Hey, do you wanna go grab lunch with me tomorrow? I'm down, which means yeah, let's do it.
I'm down.
And the last one, number 50, to get hot. To get hot means, you know, it's getting warm and my body temperature is going up. I am getting hot. I need to shed some layers. Whew, it's getting hot in here. It could be, you know, literal or figurative, which is suggests or hints at a certain type of degree of sexual arousal, I guess. Oh, ooh, it's getting hot in here, you know, or something like that.
It's getting hot in here, huh?
So in this video, I would like to show you some cool expressions with the word good that you should start using right now. It's all good, and you can use it in a couple of different ways. So the first one would be maybe someone did something wrong or offended you maybe in some way, and they're apologizing for it, but you want to diffuse the situation and, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. It's all good. It's all good. Which means basically, don't worry about it, I'm fine. You didn't do anything to harm me or offend me. It's all good.
It's all good, my friend. It's all good.
Or you can use it in a way that, you know, oh, it really sucks, but oh well, what can we do? It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
The next one is, so far so good. And basically you're saying that in the process of something, so far, everything is okay. How's this project going? So far so good.
So far so good.
The next one is very, very useful. When something is too good to be true, it's exactly what it sounds like. How about you send me $100 right now and I'll send you 1,000 tomorrow. Sounds too good to be true. It's just unrealistic.
Sounds too good to be true.
A good deal. Basically, when you are able to either purchase something for a pretty low price for what it is, you got a good deal.
Good deal, mover. Good deal.
Doesn't have to be necessarily directly related to money, but let's say, you know, you and I sign a contract and you're working with me now, and you know, the conditions and the terms of the contract, in the way that we both win, we have a good deal. This contract, it's a good deal.
A good deal.
Number 5, all in good time, which basically means, you know, be patient, it will happen eventually. I want to be tall just like my dad. All in good time.
All in good time, dear boy. All in good time.
The next one is as good as it gets. So when you say as good as it gets, you basically mean that whatever we're looking at or talking about is the best example of this thing given the conditions or the area or whatever the case may be. Let me give you a more specific example so you're not confused. This restaurant isn't great, but you know, it's as good as it gets in this city. So this city specifically doesn't have great restaurants, but this one, while it's not great, it's the best one around. It's as good as it gets in this city.
This is as good as it gets.
The next one is as good as done, which means it's not done, but it's on track to, you know, being done, or it will be done very, very soon. You know, if you're asking me about my project, it's as good as done.
Come on, it's as good as done, right?
The next one is as good as new. You broke something and you know, took it to get repaired and they repaired it and they cleaned it. It's working now, so it's as good as new.
Good as new.
The next one is to be good to go. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going somewhere, which it could actually, but it doesn't have to. So to be good to go generally means to be ready for something. For example, I'm about to have a job interview on the phone and they're calling me, so I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. hello, right? So I'm ready to begin, I'm ready.
Good to go?
The next one is for good. And for good means forever. You have this person in your life and they're really bad for you and you want to cut them off. So you say, I'm done with you for good, which means I'm done with you forever. You will never be back in my life. For good means forever.
Gone for good.
If you feel a little stuck with your English and you got to this, pretty confident intermediate level and you want to go further and explore, but you just can't seem to do it, I have something for you. Our brand new online course from intermediate to advanced. We just recently updated everything. It's the newest version. It's a little longer now. Some things are different. And a major thing about it is the legendary challenge mode, where you get to obviously enjoy the course and get all the benefits of the course, as well as have some extra assignments, which you can get points for with a partner. Work together to get points, move up in the leaderboard, and win the challenge and win some prizes. It's educational, it's exciting, it's suspenseful, it's competitive, it's just the best. So if it sounds good to you and you want to try it, I'm gonna leave the link down below. The next one is good for you, and good for you could be sincere or not. You're sharing your accomplishments with me, and I'm genuinely happy for you, and I want to say good for you, and I really mean it, which means good job, great job, you did it, good for you.
Good for you.
Or I could be a little shady, and I could be like, good for you.
Good for you.
The next one is to be in good hands. Basically, don't worry about it. You're in good hands. This person right here will do whatever you need, help you with whatever you need help with. You're in good hands. You can trust this person. You're in good hands.
You're in good hands.
To be in good shape, either physically fit and good shape, or to be in good shape for something. If I'm a writer, but I haven't written an article in 10 years, do you think I'm in good shape?
Other than that, I'm in good shape.
To be no good basically means exactly what it sounds like. To not be good enough for something, Maybe it's drawing or something and you're trying it for the first time and, it's not very great, so you can be like, I'm no good.
Girl, he is no good for you.
The next one is to come from a good place. Obviously, if you take this literally, I'm from a good place, like a nice area, nice town, but there's a different meaning that I would like to explore with you today. And when something comes from a good place or someone comes from a good place, that means they have good intentions.
And I know it's coming from a good place because, well...
The next one is to be on good terms with somebody. To be on good terms basically means to have a decent, friendly, somewhat friendly relationship. You don't hate each other, you know what I mean? It's more applicable to breakups or, when some kind of relationship ends, you can still talk and be respectful and, there's no hard feelings.
Well, look, you're on such good terms with him.
The next one is to do any good. To do any good basically means to be beneficial to anybody in any way. If you want to make more friends, sitting alone at your house won't do you any good, right? You gotta go out, you gotta go outside, you gotta go talk to people, meet people, right? So to have some sort of benefit, to do any good.
It won't do any good.
And the last one is for your own good. For your own good means for your own benefit once again. I know you're too lazy to go to the gym, but I think you should do it for your own good. Like, it will only benefit you. It will only be good.
For your own good.
When you learn English, or any other language for that matter, it's very important to analyze your approach to learning new vocabulary. Sometimes we just get so caught up learning individual words that when it comes to putting them together in a sentence, we kind of struggle. So that's why it's always a good idea to learn words in clusters, which is a very stupid way of saying learning a word and, an expression or a sentence with it right away. And because it's such a great idea, what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna give you a couple of popular or common expressions with specific verb. And today we're gonna focus specifically on make and do. The first one is to make trouble, which means to create problems for people or, you know, misbehave in a way, you know, make trouble. Why are you always making trouble? I can't take you anywhere. Something like that.
Look, I don't want to make any trouble.
The next one is to make a mess. And this one can be literal or, you know, figurative. You can make a mess by breaking stuff, tearing stuff up, throwing it everywhere. You physically made a mess.
I made a mess. I made a mess.
Or you can, you know, sort of make a mess in your relationship, or you can make a mess of a situation.
I made a mess.
To make a point. When you want to make a point, you just really explain what you're trying to say, and, you know, you really make sure people understand where you're coming from. You want people to understand what you mean.
Okay, Sheldon, I think you've made your point.
The next one is to make an appointment. You make an appointment at, you know, the doctor's office, dentist, your business partners. You make an appointment for a meeting or for anything. When you set a specific date and time to do something with someone or go see someone, you make an appointment.
Fine. We'll make an appointment tomorrow.
The next one is to make sense. What are you saying? You're not making any sense. Like, it's hard for me to follow what you're saying, or there's no logic behind what you're saying.
It makes sense.
To make a profit, when you make a profit, you make some money. This particular expression is more of like a business expression because, you know, regular people in real life just say make some money. You know, a company or a business makes a profit.
Imagine the profit that you could make.
Make progress. You make progress when you get better or get more of something, or, you know, just in general, something gets better.
Good. Making progress.
Make an excuse. When you don't want to do something and you give all the reasons why you can't, you're making excuses. Like, you and I were supposed to meet at 2 o'clock, but it's already 3 o'clock, and I'm like, where are you? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't come. Something came up. My dog ate my homework, whatever. You're making excuses.
Don't make excuses.
And the last one is to make a phone call. You make a phone call. You don't do a phone call. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to step out and make a phone call.
I need to make a call.
And the next one is do. And the first one is do harm, which basically means to cause any kind of harm. It could be like actual physical harm or, you know, just in general.
Nonsense. What harm could he do?
Do good. Being stressed about it won't do anyone any good, which basically means, you know, don't stress because that's not going to benefit us in any sort of way.
It won't do you any good.
Do nothing. I mean, that's pretty simple. You can figure that out. Do nothing. Sometimes the best course of action is to do nothing.
I'll sit here and do nothing.
Do damage. You can do damage in many ways. It could be, once again, literal physical damage, or it could be more of a figurative damage. Do your best. That's a great one. To do your best when you want to express that you're gonna do whatever you can to achieve something, when you're gonna, you know, when you want to communicate the fact that you're gonna try really hard to do something, you can say, I'm gonna do my best. Do my best.
But yeah, I'm gonna do my best.
The next one is do your hair. That is mostly applied to styling and stuff like that. Well, not really haircuts. You can't really talk about getting a haircut and say do my hair. But when you're styling it, curling it, spiking it up, whatever the case may be, you could refer to that process as doing your hair.
Maybe do your hair.
Do the dishes. You know that one. Do the dishes.
And you're gonna do the dishes.
Do something right or do something wrong. Actually, you know, a little bonus in more of a informal conversational English, you can also do someone right or do someone wrong, which basically means, you know, oh, he did me so wrong. That means he, you know, created a situation that was not very favorable to me. I would not recommend using that on like your exams, like TOEFL or whatever. When you're outside, you can do whatever. And the last one is to do someone a favor. For example, oh, could you please do me a favor?
Could you do me a favor?
Today we're gonna learn 20 beautiful, well, not very beautiful, but 20 useful expressions in English that you can start using now and be super cool, I guess. If you're ready, let's do it. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. A funny sort of picture comes to mind. It's like you have a very small head and small face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, and then massive ears. I'm all ears. But no, that's not it. I'm all ears means I'm ready to listen and really pay attention to you. If you really want to tell me something, I can tell you, look, I'm all ears. Tell me your story.
I'm all ears.
Number 2 is one of my favorite ones, actually. Cut to the chase. Cut to the chase. So let me try to explain this in the best way possible. For example, I want to tell you something, or maybe I want to ask you for something. Maybe I want to ask you for help. And I don't do it directly. I don't say, hey, can you help me? I start telling you this long story that has nothing to do with anything. Just to kind of transition into sort of asking you for help, right? Oh, you know, last week I found out some bad news and I was whatever. And you can tell me, hey, cut to the chase. What do you want? Right? Stop telling me these stories. Cut to the chase. Get to the point. Right? What do you want?
Let's cut to the chase, shall we?
Number 3, to get a kick out of something. So to get a kick out of something could mean 2 things. The first one is just experience pleasure when doing something, or I mean, I guess that would be the best way to explain it. And it could mean maybe something is funny and you're still enjoying yourself because you're laughing, or maybe you're just enjoying doing something. For example, I get a kick out of watching comedy shows. Like, I really like and enjoy doing it because it's funny and I laugh, but that's why it's enjoyable.
You really get a kick out of yourself, don't you?
The next one is very easy. To have a blast. To have a blast is basically to have fun on steroids. You have fun, you know, times 10, that's to have a blast. So it's the same thing, as just a little stronger. There's more emotion behind it. Like, oh, I had so much fun. That's great. I had a blast. Sounds a little stronger, but means the same thing. We had a blast at the concert last night.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a blast.
Keep your fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. Whoa, how do I explain this? You know, it's sort of like, I hope something happens. I really hope and pray something happens, so I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Kind of like for good luck. You know what I mean? Let's say you and I are going on a trip, and we don't know if the weather is gonna be good or not, so you know, I can say keep your fingers crossed for good weather on our trip, right? Keep your fingers crossed.
All right, keep your fingers crossed.
Learning expressions like these ones is pretty important for everyone. You know, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate level student, I think it's very, very important. And you know, when you're just starting out, it could be very confusing and complicated, and it's very important to stay motivated and be really driven and remember why you're doing it, and also have the right program and the right approach and the right people that can, you know, keep it fun and keep you motivated. And that is why I would like to invite you guys, for all my beginners, to participate in my online course from elementary to intermediate. If you want to get to that solid intermediate level but you don't really know what to do, I got you. And you can check out the link in the description box under this whole video thing to learn more about it and see if it's right for you. But if it's not right for you and you're a little further along, you're closer to intermediate, maybe you're pre-intermediate, intermediate, or maybe upper intermediate, and you feel like you're stuck. You're doing the same things, but it's not really working for you anymore, and you don't really know how to go about it anymore. Well, don't worry, I got you too. And you can actually experience our revolutionary online course with the challenge mode from intermediate to advanced. We just updated it. I mean, it's incredible. And speaking of the challenge mode, it's very exciting to learn English and get better and level up and also compete. It gives this experience a little, you know, a little flavor, and I really, really like that. We're spicing it up. So if you're ready to take it to the next level, check out the links in the description box below, and let's get back to these expressions. The next one, let's call it a day. You and I have been working all day and we're tired, and I think it's time to finish. Let's call it a day. Let's finish doing everything we're doing for the day and come back tomorrow. Let's call it a day. We're done.
Let's call it a day.
Long story short, Long story short is, the full expression is to make a long story short, but we just kind of say long story short, just like as standalone expression. Long story short is basically like, I'm not gonna tell you the whole story, I'm just gonna get to the juicy part, like the main part. Long story short, we ended up lost in the middle of the city, for example. I don't know what that story was, but that's just kind of what it is.
Long story short, we no longer need a computer in this department.
The next one is no way. No way. So, I mean, you know, it could mean different things. Mostly people use it to not necessarily express disbelief, which you could also do. Like, oh, I heard he won the lottery. No way. Like, I do not believe this. You could. Or you could also sort of like say no way when you mean, seriously? Wow, that's unbelievable, but in a good way. For example, you come to me and you say, hey, I got 120 on my TOEFL exam. And I can be like, no way, that's so cool. And by no way, I mean, it's not that I doubted you, I didn't doubt you, but it's just incredible. It's so incredible, I am shocked, but not in a bad way, because I always believed in you. I think you know what I mean. I'm just kind of going on the rant here.
No way. Are you kidding?
The next one is to each their own, which, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It kind of means, you know, it's sort of like everyone has their own preferences and different people like different things. To each their own. To each their own. You like it, but I don't like it. I don't like the same thing. But you know what? To each their own.
That sounds like a really cool thing, and to each their own.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. Basically, when you and I are working on an idea and we're pursuing an idea, but then it doesn't work, you know, you can say, all right, back to the drawing board. We need a new idea. We're going back to the starting point to work on a new idea. Back to the drawing board. Like back to, there's also another one that's kind of similar, another expression, and that's back to square one. Back to square one, which is like, once again, same thing, back to the starting point.
You might have to go back to the drawing board.
The next one is by the way. By the way is sort of like a filler when you want to introduce an additional idea to something else. You know, or maybe if you want to ask like a clarifying question in the middle of the conversation, you know, oh my god, we had so much fun last night. You know, I went to this concert and I had a blast. And I can be like, oh, that's so cool. By the way, I remember you told me you wanted to invite Peter to the concert. Did he go with you? I said, by the way, I'm kind of attaching a clarifying question or, you know, a new idea to this conversation that we're having. Or it could be completely unrelated. No, blah, blah, blah. We're talking. By the way, have you seen my keys? Can't find them anywhere.
Oh, by the way, this is a friend of mine, Tree.
The next one is to cut corners. So to cut corners, basically, okay, let's picture you and I are racing in cars, right? Need for Speed style, right? And there's a left turn, right? We have to turn left. For you, it's different, but my left, right? We have to turn. We have to make this turn. And it's like, boom, boom, 90 degrees, right? So I go like that. I go 90 degrees, but you're cutting the corner, right? You kind of, maybe you're drifting to, and you end up in front of me, right? So to cut corners basically means to sort of sacrifice something in order to make something else easier or better or whatever the case may be. Let me give you a more specific example. Let's say I'm making t-shirts, right? And I want to make the whole process, the production of it, I want to make it cheaper for myself. So maybe I'll pick a cheaper fabric and it's not going to feel nice. Maybe I try to decide to save money on designs and they don't look as good. I'm cutting corners, right? I'm sacrificing something in order to make it cheaper for myself. Or a very good example of cutting corners is when you have to do some work and you're just trying to do it as fast as you can and you sacrifice, you know, the quality of whatever you're doing, right? You're cutting corners only because you want it to be as fast as possible.
Look, I don't need to cut corners, Kev. I can make weight.
The next one is to get the hang of something. When you're just starting a new hobby or any new activity and you stick with it for a while, for some time, right? And then you feel like you're starting to get better at it. You're a little more confident. Let's say let's say you want to learn how to play a song on, let's say, guitar, right? So let's say the song is Other Side by V Always Here. Great song, by the way. And you're, you know, learning the chords and you're switching, you know, you're transitioning between the chords, and it's kind of slow because you're just starting out. But then after some time, maybe you practice for a week, and then you're getting kind of better, and it's sounding pretty nice. You can say, wow, I'm getting the hang of this, right? I'm getting better.
Do you know, I think I'm beginning to get the hang of this flying business.
The next one is to go the extra mile. When you do something extra, something that you maybe were not supposed to, or maybe no one expected you to do, in any kind of relationship. For example, you're telling me right now that tomorrow you're flying into LAX to visit, right, at 3 p.m. and you ask me to pick you up at the airport, which if you know Los Angeles, I probably won't do. But let's say, for the sake of this conversation, let's say yes, I'll pick you up at the airport, no problem. And you're flying in from South Korea, right? That's a massive flight, like 15 hours or something like that, right? So I know this, right? You only asked me to pick you up, but I know you're probably really hungry. So I bring you food. I pick you up, you get in my car, and I'm like, here's food. I know you had a really long flight. You were just on a really long flight and you're probably hungry, so here's food. That's an example of me going the extra mile. You didn't ask me for it, but I still did it. You know what I'm saying?
Go the extra mile!
The next one is, it goes without saying. It goes without saying. Basically, that means people can understand this without you having to say it. It goes without saying. Everyone understands this. You don't have to say it. It goes without saying. Let's say you're a really bad student. Really bad. Not because you're dumb. No, you're not dumb. You're very smart, actually. You're just very lazy. So your grades are really bad. And you have a very important exam coming up, right? And you never study for anything. But this exam is very important. So all of us, your friends, right? We're just, you know, sitting here. We're like, yeah, it goes without saying you need to study for the exam. Because it's very important, and you usually don't study for stuff. Everyone understands it. Everyone knows it. You don't have to say it out loud. It goes without saying.
It goes without saying that Graft is incompatible with my programming.
And if you agree with us, that means all of us and you, we're on the same page. On the same page. To be on the same page means we agree on the same thing. We see something the same way. Right? We agree. We're on the same page. We have aligning interests or opinions. Let's say you and I are on a date, right? You and I, we're on a date right now. And you can be like, hey, Venya, do you want kids? And I'll be like, no. And then you're like, oh, great. I don't want any kids either. We're on the same page, right? So we kind of agree on this one thing, right? So for the sake of this particular conversation, we're on the same page. Am I speaking too fast?
I'm glad we're on the same page.
The next one is the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana. It's sort of like, you know, you do this and you do that, and it's wonderful. Let me give you an example. By working part-time, she gets the best of both worlds. A job she loves, and time for family. Boom. Best of both worlds.
Because it's the best of both worlds.
Time flies. Time flies. When people say time flies, we basically mean that time is going by way too fast. Time flies. God. These kids, they grow up so fast. My younger brother, let me tell you a little bit about my personal life. My younger brother, he was born in 2006, right? So this year, he's about to be 17. Yo. Now, that was not scripted or planned. I want to say time flies. because that's crazy. But there's also a really cool expression that we like to use. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun, which means when it's fun, when you're having fun, time goes by really fast. You barely notice it. Time flies.
Jimmy, time flies.
Up in the air. When something is up in the air, it doesn't mean it's flying. But it could, I guess. But that's besides the point. So when we say that something is up in the air, that means it hasn't been decided yet. It's undecided, right? The date for the party is still up in the air. Like, we don't know what date. We don't know when the party is because we haven't decided yet. April 1st? April 2nd? April 3rd? I don't know. It's up in the air. Hasn't been decided yet.
Things are a little bit up in the air.
And the last one is, what's done is done. What's done is done. You know, let's say you did something wrong and hurt my feelings or offended me in some way, and then you want to say sorry, you apologize to me, and I can say, what's done is done. You know, what's done is done. We can't change the past. What's done is done. Basically, I don't really accept your apologies. What's done is done. Or maybe I am. It really depends on the context and how I say it, you know. But yeah, what's done is done. Basically means we can't go back in time and change it. What's done is done. Whatever.
What's done is done.
And in this video, I'm going to share with you 20 useful expressions that you will not find in any traditional book. The first one is to catch some Z's. You know, in like comic books or like animated movies, when people go to sleep, it's like Z, 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 right? That's basically what it is. To catch some Z's means to sleep. I'm so tired after work. Can't wait to catch some Z's tonight. Something like that.
Well, it's getting late. I better catch some Z's. Good night.
The next one is to hit the road. Hit the road means to be on the way, to get on the way. If we're driving somewhere, oh, we gotta hit the road. Get on the road. Let's go. Or you don't have to be driving. It could be walking. Oh, let's hit the road. Let's go. Let's get on the way. I've got errands to run, so I better hit the road early to beat traffic.
Okay, hitting the road.
The next one is to spice something up. So when you spice something up, you make it more exciting, more interesting. Well, delicious, I guess, if it's food. Or delicious in a, you know, a figurative meaning. For example, it's good to spice things up in a relationship. So I planned a surprise date for her.
Are you trying to spice things up?
Yeah, I'm trying to spice things up.
The next one is to pig out. Ooh, to pig out. You know, when you eat way too much food and it doesn't feel good anymore, that's kind of what it is, to pig out. We ordered way too much food. Time to pig out and enjoy. Not that it's very enjoyable. The process is, but the aftermath,
Pigging out.
The next one is to take a rain check or just rain check. You and I agreed to meet at 2 o'clock, but something came up. So I have to unfortunately call you or text you and be like, hey, can we take a rain check on our date today? To take a rain check is basically to do it later, to do it at some other time, not right now, or not at the time that we originally agreed on.
Rain check?
To hang out, you already know what this is. To hang out basically means to spend time with people. When you're hanging out with your people, when you're hanging out with your friends, you're spending time with them. It's a very general umbrella term because hanging out could mean so many different things. Just taking a walk outside, going for a drive, watching TV, playing games, playing board games, going to a bar, going to a club. If you're spending time with people, you are hanging out, no matter what it is. That's why it's so great. You don't have to get into the specifics of it. And if people ask you, for example, what'd you do last weekend? Oh, I hung out with my friends. Oh, what did you do? Where did you go? And then you give the whole story if you want to.
You want to hang out sometime?
The next one is to binge watch. To binge watch. I mean, I honestly feel like this expression wouldn't exist or wouldn't be as popular if it weren't for Netflix. You know, Netflix drops the entire season in one day. So you really binge. You binge those shows. You watch as many episodes as you can in the shortest amount of time possible. You call off work and you just watch 10 episodes all in one day. You can say to binge watch or just binge. For example, I'm all caught up on my favorite TV show. Time to binge the new season.
At home, binge watching media content.
The next one has two versions. The first one is more of like a PG version, and the other one is the version that people actually use, in my experience. So the first one is to shoot the breeze, and the other version is to shoot the basically means to talk about nothing. You and I are meeting up to hang out, get some coffee, whatever, right? And we're talking the entire time, but we're not talking about anything serious. We're not talking about anything important. We're just talking about irrelevant stuff, but we're just chatting, you know? That's it. Let's meet up at a coffee shop and shoot the breeze over some lattes, or shoot the over some lattes. That's such a Southern California statement.
We could call just to shoot the breeze?
To go with the flow. So let's say you and I are going out tonight. We're going out, you know, to eat, maybe to get dinner, maybe some drinks too, right? And you're like, oh, what are we gonna do after? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just go with the flow. You know, wherever the night takes us, that's where we're gonna go. Basically, to not have any plans and just sort of seeing what happens and then just going with the flow. I don't have any plans for the weekend. I'm just gonna go with the flow and see where it takes me.
I just go with the flow.
Now let me tell you a little bit about our Lingua Speaking Club Pro. This is a community of like-minded people. You can talk to people, discuss your interests, share your experience, make new friends and meaningful connections, and all of that. You will do that in English.
For Kevin Lingua Radio, where hosts and guests discuss one particular topic.
Now I know what you're saying. I have a life, I'm pretty busy, and all of that. We get it. We're just like you. We completely understand. So that's why you can come to as many sessions as you want. Every week you will get an email with the schedule and you just pick and choose. Super easy. Each time we meet is going to be dedicated to a specific topic, and those sessions will be anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, and everything is on Zoom, so it's very easy and flexible. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to drive anywhere. You can just do it from wherever you are. So if you're ready to take charge of your English, be the boss, I'm gonna include the link down below. The next one is to live it up. To live it up. Once again, it's a very broad, general term. To live it up basically means to party and have a good time. Now, what is your definition of partying and having a good time? You don't even have to tell me, because it doesn't matter. With this expression, it doesn't matter what it is. I know you're gonna have fun, or you're having fun, or you had fun. Maybe for me, going to bars, drinking, and then doing other stuff is fun. Maybe for you, going over to a friend's house playing PlayStation is a fun time. So it doesn't matter. Both of us are living it up. It's my birthday weekend and I'm ready to live it up with my friends. You don't have to, the gesture doesn't come with it. You don't have to do that.
Live it up, Alex.
To roll with the punches. To roll with the punches is basically your ability to make the best out of everything. All endeavors come with obstacles and difficulties. And when you are able to roll with the punches, you're able to not necessarily ignore the obstacles, but you go through them, you learn from them, and you come out on the other side even better. This life is throwing challenges at me, but I'll roll with the punches and keep going.
You have to roll with the punches.
To sweeten the deal. Basically, to sweeten the deal means to offer something extra so that the other person can't refuse, you know, the exchange or whatever deal is going on. Like if I'm selling cars, right, and you want to buy a car from me, and we start negotiating on the price, and you say, I'm sorry, you know, the lowest you can go is still a little too high for us. I'll be like, how about I throw in some freebies to sweeten the deal? Freebies means like free stuff. Upgraded rims, neck pillows, a hat and a t-shirt, whatever, right, to sweeten the deal.
For this request, she'd like to sweeten the deal.
To have a blast. To have a blast is basically the same thing as to have fun, is just bigger and stronger and better. So like the concert was amazing, I had so much fun, wonderful. But the concert was amazing, I had a blast, sounds stronger, like way more fun than so much fun.
And then we had a blast.
To wing it. To wing it, right? You have to wing it when you don't have a plan and you still go and do it. If you're, you know, giving a speech at a wedding and you didn't write anything down, you're gonna have to wing it. Improvise, right? I didn't have time to prepare, so I'll just have to wing it and hope for the best.
Wing it.
To go the extra mile. To go the extra mile means to go beyond what you are supposed to do for someone. Every type of relationship, job, anything in this life comes with a preset number of responsibilities and things that you are expected to do. You stay within that, and that's great. So to go the extra mile means to do more than that. I know it's extra work, but I'm willing to go the extra mile to make this project a success.
Sometimes you gotta go the extra mile with patience.
To shoot yourself in the foot. Basically, you do or say something stupid, which causes problems for you. You make whatever situation you're in worse for yourself by saying or doing something stupid. For example, I really shot myself in the foot when I told the interviewer that I got fired from my previous job for sexual harassment. That's very extreme, but you know what I mean.
I shot myself in the foot.
Break the bank. You know, when something costs more than you can afford, it breaks the bank, right? Once again, I'm a car salesman in this one. You come up to me and tell me, hey, I'm looking for a reliable car that won't break the bank. That's what you asked for, and that's what I'm gonna find you. And then I'm gonna sweeten the deal with some freebies.
They did not break the bank in the catering is all I'm saying.
To sweat bullets. Basically, to be extremely nervous or anxious, that's what it means. I was sweating bullets while I waited for the job interview. Like, I was really, really nervous.
It's chilly, darling. You're sweating bullets.
To be shady. To be shady means to be suspicious, questionable, unsafe. Yeah, just a questionable, suspicious, slimy person, right? That's a shady person. You know, I'm a car salesman again, and you know, someone comes up to you like, hey, be careful with him. He's a shady guy.
He's shady.
And the last one is to reason with someone. You already know the word reason as a noun, right? This is my reason for, you know, doing this. Basically, this is why I did this, right? So to reason with someone as a verb, to reason with someone means to talk to someone in a nice, sensible way in order to try to change that person's mind or thoughts or behavior. I'm gonna tell you exactly why I feel this way, and then I'm gonna hope you agree, right? I tried to reason with her, but she just wouldn't listen.
I'm sorry. I tried to reason with her.
All right, well, this is it. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our English with LinguaTrip family. We really, really appreciate that. And that's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.